here at the Petersen Automotive Museum. We're just going to check out some stuff. Obviously, there are a lot of cool cars here, but we saw the Batmobile. It's about as old as Nads. And,
dude, I remember the OG Batmobile. This isn't even the OG, this is the OG movie Batmobile. It's like a George Barris back in the day.
Go ahead,
this one's nuts. I don't know anything about this one except for the fact that it was done for like the modern age Batman.
This
with
is
like
my era Batmobile.
With like Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking like Adam West back when George Barris. This one's
you're talking about Boom Pow?
Yeah, exactly. Like this thing. Look at this. That's the one right there. The OG TV show.
Oh man,
that's too old for you.
Yeah, I didn't see any episodes of this one. I don't think.
And that little
why
thing pops out.
Why does it have?
It's
you guys have terrible museum etiquette.
I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch
Sorry.
it.
It's got a cart that comes out.
What would you call this exhaust, Brad?
Yeah, the little cart pops out. Yeah, Robin used to get on that and go, and Batman would be on here.
He was on all fours on that, wasn't he?
He rides a weird, huh?
Yeah, he's like
a little.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a lady.
Ew.
I got the same thing as you did. I saw the stop or the brake handles. I'm like, why do you got brake handles? And I saw the wheels.
He's got a downward dog to ride this thing.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Well, I mean, Batman's seat also looks a little like very narrow.
That's I love this how we're starting the stream.
I always thought Batman ran American, but it's a Yamaha.
Why does Batman have to ride American?
I don't know. I thought it was a Triumph for a Harley.
He's not Evil Knievel.
Phrasing.
Anyways, this is the Batman that I remember. That's the more recent Batman, which is still old school.
Taillight's fake on the bike.
It's a movie. It's
a fake
TV
taillight.
light. Well, this is the hall we're in right now. This is the movie TV land.
This one works.
How do you know?
All right, let's see. 20 feet.
It was one of the better movies.
Yeah, The Dark Knight's a good Batman.
I feel like it kind of ruined all other movies for me, like as far as like in that genre. That's a bigger nerd conversation because it was really good.
Is that the one with Bane?
Well, like, how did it ruin it? Wasn't Dark Knight with the
I can't remember if
Joker?
Yeah.
Was it not Joker's?
That was the Heath Ledger Joker.
I can't remember if
Yeah.
I like Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises was
Is that
Bane.
the one?
Dark
That's
Knight Rises
Bane.
was the one
Oh,
with
they're
Bane.
both good then.
Yeah. Super dark.
The Dark Knight's.
I didn't really like the first one. What was the order? Batman Returns.
Drugs.
Where are the drugs? Was he looking for drugs?
I don't know.
Worn, but the rear one's not worn at all.
Because you're turning with the front one.
See how
Yeah.
I think it works.
worn it
Yeah,
is?
but there's literally zero wear on the rear.
It's too evenly worn.
It's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
It doesn't do burnouts, you know.
Okay, that's the big question. Does it run and does it do burnouts?
So it's electric motors. It
See a little-
probably has batteries
Right
somewhere.
there. What camera are we shooting with? I don't know. Sony something or other?
Is that the damper right there? So it's got like
Yeah.
cantilevered suspension.
It's all hydraulic over electric. The motors are driven, 2 electric motors, front motor electric, a rear motor electric, but there's no hydraulics. So like it has to be driven with pumps. And you see the hoses are missing, so that one's not going. Lowboy. These are actually the hot rods of hot rods.
Brad,
The flathead Ford V8.
break it down. What's the difference between a high boy and a low boy?
Oh wow. I believe high boys have the frames sticking below the body, and low
Exactly.
boys,
Low
the
boys
body
are
sits
the
on
body's cut down on
So
the
like,
frame.
you can see the frame underneath the body.
Completely.
It's a high boy, and if you can't see the frame underneath the body, it's
So
a low
it's
boy.
cut rails and then it's a body drop essentially.
This is the one that was actually Iron Man that you seen him sitting on working on. He was like in his basement and he was doing the work on it.
And didn't they ruin like a R8?
It
Didn't he
crushed
fall
him.
on an R8?
Yeah,
or was it a Saleen S7? It was one of the two where he was like
In the
trying
hood.
to do the thing and he landed on the hood. And then that car sold at Barrett Jackson in an auction for like
A lot of money.
$80,000 for like a
Ruined.
wrecked Saleen or a wrecked R8 because Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.'s ass landed on the hood.
I don't know what you think, but I want these brakes.
Yeah, we will be going. We're gonna go into the vault around 3 o'clock.
We're gonna go to the mall.
The vintage drum
I
brakes.
want those brakes on the Stallion.
Yo, speaking of auctions, you know that Maybach that they ruined in the Otis video? That went up for auction. It sold for like 30 grand.
For a Maybach?
Yeah, but I mean it was destroyed.
Wait, is that the one that was at SEMA? Oh, did you guys
I
see the one
wish.
that burned to the
That
ground?
burned to
What
the
happened to that
ground.
one?
Nobody knows.
Forgiato thing? Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about this.
Oh, Thelma and Louise. Look at this.
Oh, this one they sent off the Grand Canyon?
I don't think it's
probably not.
Uh-oh. Something's happening.
Hey, back to the
I know.
Oh yeah, we know. We're literally waiting to get kicked out.
So this is the
We are being
crazy-
followed.
Yeah. I was like, what are these at push button shit? This one didn't.
This is the Thelma and Louise T-bird.
Oh yeah, it's 12, so we'll be there in like 3 hours. We're trying to do like 45 minutes of floor. All right, now so of Brad, Hert, and Nads, who's gonna be the one that gets us kicked out? All right, well, Brad volunteered.
You gotta help me. Last night, Darth Vader came down from the planet Vulcan and told me if I didn't take Lorraine to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, he's gonna melt my brain. Love that line.
Yo, I need
George McFly.
This is why we usually have him without a cup.
I need Hert's face on a T-shirt like that.
finish on this thing is so dope.
This is no finish. This is it.
Yeah, I know.
This is like
Brushed one way.
It's still a finish.
You know who's
Yeah,
got
it's
one
a
of these? Did he
finish.
sell it or does he still get down with his Matt Farah?
Oh, I don't
Matt
know.
Farah's got a DeLorean. Worst cars ever.
Someone in Florida.
302, 302.
Inline six
Was it
cylinder.
No. It was
Yeah,
V8.
inline
Was
six
it-
cylinder.
No, it wasn't inline six.
Want me to look it up?
Look it up.
I bet
I don't think it was an inline six. I think it was like a 289 or something like that.
They're claiming it goes at under 30 miles an hour.
No, all it's got to do is 88.
That's it. It only needs to go to 88.
All it's got to do is go 88 miles an hour.
88 miles an hour.
I know, they
Yeah.
should put top speed 88 mile an hour.
would they put it
Top
in?
speed, I don't know. Time?
This thing's worth 60 grand.
I don't know about that.
That's what it says right here.
Is the flux capacitor real?
Universal Studios Hollywood.
It's probably worth 60 grand. There's someone that would pay for this specific one for 60 grand.
There's so many like knockoff ones. That is Herbie.
Is this new Herbie or old Herbie?
I feel like this is new Herbie.
No.
Because look at the wheels.
Oh yeah, that's totally Lindsay Lohan.
This is Lindsay Lohan. I just want to, is it wrong that I want to sniff the seat?
Oh God.
Should I not know?
Hey.
Should I not? No? Was that bad?
This is why.
Is that bad? No?
Yes, that's
Yo,
terrible.
yo,
bad?
we kept, Kato and I kept reminding Nads that 2018 he can't be the way he is.
Yeah,
And then Kato was like, we need an emote where Nads is just wearing 2018 glasses.
Wait, don't we have that? Weren't you wearing those on New Year's?
Yeah, I was.
We
we should just do it.
Nice. Don't say that.
Okay, sorry. I don't know, man.
Bad boy.
I know.
You're a bad boy. Brad, how do you
So we were
think?
both wrong. It was a V6.
It wasn't these.
B just said, okay, Nads can get them kicked out for sure.
So this is a 63, and this is one of the many Kirby bugs that they built. But this is the one that they did that drag racing in.
No, this is a NASCAR one. They raced the
They
NASCAR
raced the
one.
NASCAR, and it's got a 23, 32. It's the biggest punched out Volkswagen motor you could build with a 48 IDA.
2332? I thought you can get like a 2776.
Not in a stock case.
This thing is pretty
They
sick.
put a bigger case.
Dude, this thing is dope.
Yeah, this thing's pretty
Stock
sick.
casing.
This thing is hard.
2332.
I want to see under.
I like this one better than the OG.
Dude, do you know how many cars here I want to get, like, up on something? Yeah.
Spare tire and everything.
There's a lot in this car that I like the way they built it. Like the way they did the oil cooler in the roof. They did the rag top. This car was done really.
Oh, God.
Oh, billet aluminum hub.
Hurt, help.
Let's go this way. Let's go around.
Suki's car, man.
Yes. Do you know whose car it was before it was Suki's car? RJ DeVera's.
Oh, really?
This is RJ DeVera's S2000, Bellside Fortune Aero Kit. Do you know who Suki is? Do you know who Suki is?
I know who she is in the movie.
Devin Aoki. Do you know who Devin Aoki is? She's Steve Aoki's sister, and she's also Hiroki Aoki's daughter, who's the Benihana guy.
There's a lot of
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
crazy.
That's a crazy family, right?
I guess she does kind of look like.
And she's
Steve
kind
Aoki.
of, can I say she's cute? I'll just say cute. I'll just say cute. I don't want to get creepy. I don't want to be creepy now.
Just say whatever you want to say about Steve Aoki, and we'll just...
Okay, I like Steve Aoki. I like the way he plays the ones and twos. I
Yep.
like to play Steve's ones and twos.
There you go.
So can I say that about Suki?
Steve?
No, you can say that about
He's not
Steve.
supposed to say it about Steve. I can't say it about Suki. It's not so bad if I say it about Steve.
I like how they vary the horsepower.
Oh, well, no, this car, there's nothing to it. I want to say it might have a supercharger on it.
It says 340 horse.
We're not going to ask the staff to do
It
anything.
might have, did Vortec used to make, I think Vortec used to make a supercharger.
Take you around the back,
It's
guys.
super rough.
What's the problem with Twitch and kids? I don't know, man. We're just not trying to
But RJ
show a bunch of strange children on our stream.
Mocha edition wasn't really too much of a fan of the wheels. I did like the aero kit.
Yeah, but for the time, these wheels were hot.
Look at the offset in the rear, man. Look at the way that.
Dude, that's how we all ran our cars.
No, we did not. I never ran my.
Okay,
cars
maybe
like
you
that.
didn't.
I would never, and I was an FF guy. I would never. Oh no, I just don't. I didn't get down with that. I like a lot of the Motegi wheels. Did not like the road.
That's like a
trying to do?
No offense,
I
RJ.
want to share it on my Instagram.
I like
that
it.
we're live.
Oh.
How do I?
That's how they used to film movies and TV, I guess.
I just don't think they have insurance for this today.
Why? Look at there's no harnesses
80s,
for that.
there is no
so I think if
insurance
you
for
go
this.
down, you just
You're done.
leap to safety, pretty much.
You just die.
Does
So
this
then-
guy hold this guy in his place?
No, I think no. There's like back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think like the old school film cameras. There was a focus puller, and then there was also the guy who framed the shot. Sort of like what they do when they do the Russian arm stuff today.
Right.
You know. So there was
This
like.
guy held the camera. And
So
that
one guy held the
looked through it?
camera and steered it, and there was another guy who had like somehow a contraption behind him. See, look, there he is. That's focus puller.
I'm surprised
So
they don't have a shot of
him holding.
of
the
him
actual
holding
camera.
it, yeah.
I think that might be the camera in there. I'm not sure. But
Focus
Yeah.
puller.
Is that what it said?
No, I'm just asking.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's what it was called. What the second dude was called. Oh boy, here comes the movie. Then. Look at that engine too in that thing.
If I walked around with a ruler and slapped Nads when he got creepy, he'd be.
Don't worry.
All right, everybody.
I can't even do that. He'd
If you're-
like it.
If you're,
I normally pay extra for that sort of action.
if you're over 21, when Nads gets creepy, take a shot. If you're under 21, take a shot of apple juice.
Or water.
Oh, this is the original Prince. Yes.
This is an original Skyline.
I
you
don't
just
even
walked
know.
by.
This wasn't even Nissan. This was the Prince Motor Company. Before Nissan took it over. This was what Nissan was before
This is
Nissan.
kind of like Datsun, huh?
It was Prince, Datsun.
I would like to say that we are not encouraging you guys to drink. If you do that, it is under your own ability.
So this is where all you Skyline lovers. This is your.
This is the
This is Grandpa.
look at the SJ mirrors.
Officer
too.
Valkyrie was just like Chug's bottle.
Yes.
And Volkswagen guys, that's where you started from.
This thing is pretty tight.
This thing is super dope.
4 headlights. Front JDM
I can't
mirrors.
wait until I'm rich so I can buy it down to anybody.
I can't wait until I die and am reincarnated as a rich person. Because that's not happening in this life.
Pretty much the way my life is tracked.
I want to be reincarnated.
Yeah,
What-
what said it's a dog's life?
This is pretty cool.
I love the styling on this.
Yeah, Ruckus, eat your heart out.
What a death trap, though. Look at the handlebars, man. Like, come on, man.
All right,
Like,
all right, I'll give you
The
that.
speed won't be that high, but it just seems like
45 miles an hour is enough to die.
45 on this one.
Yeah.
Man, that doesn't
I don't know
seem
what's
to-
touching the handlebars first, like my thighs or my
What
tummy.
is this? What is that
Look at the
pedal?
I feel like the pedals should be on opposite sides, but the pedals are like...
Kickstand. No, I'm just kidding. There's no way.
That might be.
Starter?
There's no way that's
Shifter?
the starter, is it? No, maybe it is, huh?
Look, I just
Yo,
want
Just
to-
Us, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
look at the
Twitch
premium
Prime?
numbers right
Where are all the weeb cars at? Downstairs.
Don't worry,
What's up,
we'll
Chris?
get there. We'll get there.
America's small car class program. So in the 70s, America bring in a small class car program. They try to bring in high miles per gallon. This was
Why did they do that, Brad?
because gas prices were high and oil was through the roof. And
Something called cafe regulations.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, so they had to make sure that their overall, all the cars that they sold, they had to have achieve a minimum mile per gallon. So they had to bring in some small cars in order to offset all the big.
And
domestic
Vegas in
ones.
the drag race world where I come from are the key car to buy and build to make fast because they're super light, unibody.
Is the Pinto its Challenger?
Yo,
Pretty much.
Yo, Fulham, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. By the way, Janwich, speaking of Crocs,
Crocking like it's hot.
It's a Guy Fieri edition.
hell yeah. Crock-a-flock of
So,
flames.
but hold on, talk about this one. This one's
So
a
this
different.
is America's first version of a 4-cylinder dual overhead cam side drive carburetor car, and it was actually super fast. They actually raced it in like Le Mans and a bunch of other series.
I don't know. They definitely road race this one. But the thing that I like about it is Cosworth normally is known for getting down with Ford, and here they got down with Chevy. On this one. So that's kind of nuts.
Yo, Stingray, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub.
Oh boy, there's a lot of Prime subs. Thank you. That's so cool.
Is it? It's a front-wheel drive rotary. I think it's the only front-wheel drive rotary.
No way. So is this a 12A motor too then?
I don't know if it's a 12A, but probably...
Guys, if I step over here,
like
can you hear
It
them?
might be a 10A.
So they do have
Yeah,
10A.
there's a 10A.
See, that's what I was going
looking
to
for
say.
that
I was going
earlier.
to say the 12A is like the Savannah
Yeah.
era. I don't think in 1969. I don't think they
it
had the
might,
12A.
It might be like a 10A.
This is like one of the OG Wankles.
I wish it would say.
I know, they leave it so All right, Petersen, I want you guys to come back and redo all your boards with more information. I want to know proper size of engines and everything. You guys let it go. Seriously.
What?
The 69 era is pretty on point.
It's weird. It's your favorite number.
GT from Toyota, too, you know?
How about going to the dealer and buying a brand new car?
$2 million.
$2 million car?
$2,700.
I'll take 4. And now it's worth 20. 20's not bad. I'd pay
I was going
20
to
for
say,
a
I
car
would,
like
I would
this.
just. But man, with the SR swap and the wheels and everything. It looks
Wait,
so
20K for this?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no
that's what I'm
way.
saying, the
That's what
value
it
right
says
now
right
today.
there.
Doesn't it seem like it'd be higher?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I think there was a lot of these. I think they made a lot.
Chat, how much do you think this car actually costs? Because they're saying it's 20 grand on the board, and I
According to
think they're
Brad-
wrong.
According to Brad, they won't know.
This one?
Yeah, this one.
This one costs, it said $2,700 new and $19,000 the value today.
There's no way this is 19.
But you know what?
It's got to be more.
No, there's a lot of examples.
Yeah.
Of it, so it's not that rare. So I think that
Yeah, but-
it's not really.
but, I
when
mean-
you produce a lot of examples, it doesn't.
But we have to be talking about in this current condition, like this one.
This is this is.
Or are they talking market value?
They're saying price when new and then the value today. Don't know exactly.
69,000. That's it. Yep.
See, America was like,
This thing's amazing. Holy shit.
Jimmy. They didn't even spell Jimmy right. I must have spelled it.
Can we appreciate this?
Door.
Oh, that's
Chains.
the door. I want to touch it. Can I touch it, Drew?
Nope.
No, this needs to be on that island. The plane.
That's a cultural reference. That's fine. What's that?
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island.
$3,500 car back in the day. Why
you
are
got
cars so cheap?
if you got a V8 and it makes 150 horsepower, throw it in
Yo,
the
Brad,
garbage.
what's the difference between an AMC, not touching, but just pointing out? What's the difference between an AMC Jeep and a Jeep? Didn't AMC
I say
buy
a
Jeep?
lot of people own Jeep though. Like Ford owns
So,
Jeep, AMC
Willis-
owned Jeep,
Willys owned
owned
Jeep. So
they were about the biggest prostituted American.
So it did
Motors
change
company.
hands a lot. So now it's
Yeah.
Fiat Chrysler owns Jeep.
Just
right?
empty each and every pocket was what it was referred.
Brad, somebody wants me to tell you they did a good job on the scumbug.
Thank you guys.
Oh,
it was an
yes.
honor to work
Slow
on
clap.
that project, you guys.
Slow clap.
Thank you.
Slow clap.
If it wasn't for these guys, particularly probably that guy, I wouldn't be here today.
Leave me out.
So thank him.
Man, that was the most condescending slow clap I've ever been a part of. And we guys can see that little
Oh
tube.
man, what is this?
Could you imagine wanting to do this to a car?
George Barris.
My dad built this car, you dick.
George Barris did this. No.
It's a Cougar, right?
This thing's amazing.
Ford Cougar or Mustang? Oh, Mustang.
Zebra Mustang. Hold on, get the back here. Get the back here.
I love Hert.
I'm gonna show the front first. I'll meet you guys there.
What is going on?
I don't know.
This is a step in the wrong direction.
Yeah, because
This is how you. That's how you know this guy had
This is
nobody in
like
his corner.
Monza, like a Monza front end.
Why does it like?
Do you guys know George Barris? He was like the original dude who did the Batmobile back in the
And all
day.
the
He did all the kooky.
So is this
concept
custom
cars.
then? This isn't okay.
He was like, I killed it with the Batmobile.
Fiberglass.
I was gonna say this is production.
Look at the number built. 1.
1 of 1.
Yeah.
So Brian Scotto really
Don't put that evil on us,
door
you
handles.
inmate.
Check out the door handle. Yeah,
That's that new car stuff.
way back in the day. Way back in the day.
He's got your steering wheel.
Yes, he does.
You guys want to go look at that car over there? Too bad.
No, we want to show you the 6x9s.
What's up, Javi?
This has got to be for ultimate sound. When you put those over your 6x9s, just projects.
This is the worst. Is it exclusively playing Cantina music? Man, I haven't. Why did they send us here?
I don't know, man.
Why did they send these 3 people here?
You play that when you go get tacos, okay?
Oh, Scumbag Museum. Not as good as Scumbag Labs, but
We're not leaving yet.
we're probably gonna spend the most time
An
there.
original Whizzer bicycle, and I don't even think it's a Whizzer because this is 4-cylinder, and the Whizzer's had 1.
Is this a moped?
Yeah, there's
Is this
something
essentially
like
a
a Harley
moped?
or something, but it's a
No,
4-cylinder.
but I'm saying, is this a moped? Do you pedal it to get it going?
to get it started.
And then
And then it has all these levers, like this one is actually your throttle, that's your timing.
so
and
once
then
you pedal it, it kicks. That's your first gear that kicks the engine.
It's
into the
centrifugal,
and then it
you-
kicks.
I don't think that's how it
in,
works, inmate.
And you throttle it.
What?
Oh, I was talking to.
And then what are these two?
Okay, so one is timing, and then
Is
I
that
believe
Brad?
This
Yeah.
one is fuel shut off and shut on.
Brad!
And then this is a
Don't
primer.
touch. Don't touch. God. So that's your prime.
You prime the motor, then you give it some gas and some timing, it fires, and then you adjust your throttle. I got to ride one of these a long time ago.
I like the header work.
Or how about the intake?
Yes.
The carburetor's below, so it uses vacuum to pull the fuel in.
And this is your fuel tank?
That's your fuel tank.
Okay.
How much is it?
Oh, I bet you it's 50 grand.
It says
9,500 today, for, I assume, for inflation.
Well, no, that's to buy it brand new.
Yeah.
That we're learning, right?
Yeah.
Look at the front suspension, too.
Like hydraulics.
Where are we? We're at the Petersen Automotive Museum.
I don't know anything about this car, but I do know it was designed by Bertone. So there was like a couple Italian design houses, Bertone, Zagato, Pininfarina, Scaglietti. They did custom-built coach work. So this was one they did for Dodge, but they usually do it. You see them on Italian cars. They do it for like crazy Italian cars a lot.
I love the color difference between the body and the
That's
roof.
super
It's
subtle.
super nice.
It reminds me of a Jaguar.
Is that what?
is that tint or is it just dirty?
That's what I was looking
I mean,
at.
there's no way it's dirty because they would have cleaned it.
No. I want to say
Like
this
a
is a
UV?
concept, so they don't use glass, so they could do these complex shapes that they couldn't do back in
yeah.
the
Oh, so it
50s
might be
and 60s.
plastic.
So they do plastic until they see, because they do it as quickly as possible, so they try to keep it on.
Hert, you want to go to Summer Nads next year?
I think we might.
All right, there it is.
Figure out a way to go to something.
Before we
Okay,
talk about
I
it.
know this one. This is my jam.
Before
I
you
love
talk
this one.
about it, let's just read straight off of the board.
Okay, who wants to read it?
Brad?
1967 Toyota 2000 GT Roadster, driven by, Akiyoko Wakabashi in your only live Twitch.
You only live twice. How do you not know a James Bond movie?
Yeah, so it does 135
You
miles
only
per
live
hour.
Twitch. He said you only live Twitch.
The only live Twitch, okay?
135 mile an hour, 149 horsepower. Only two built, I guess.
These
for
are
the
only
movie.
two roadsters. These are only two roadsters. They were built for the James Bond film.
Yeah.
You only live twice. Wow.
Secretly fabricated entirely by hand in the Yamaha factory in Shizuoka, Japan. The Toyota 2000 GT was introduced in 1965 at the Tokyo Motor Show. Is that now the Tokyo Auto Salon?
No,
Or is that-
Tokyo Motor Show is
that still
actually
a thing?
like the LA Auto Show. It's like the new car version.
I see.
It's every other year. Tokyo Auto Salon's only been around for like 25 years, and
I see.
that's a different one.
And was considered so exciting and desirable that two were transformed into roadsters for the 1967 James Bond movie You Only Live Twice. Fabricated in just 2 weeks, sounds like us. a 2000 GT Roadster was used in the movie by actress Akiko Wakabayashi,
There you go.
who portrayed Bond's love interest in the film. Boom.
So these cars, normally hardtop, they came in 2 liter and 2.3 liter. There's 351 examples made. I want to say there was only 26 of them are left-hand drive for US spec, and one of them, the left-hand drive versions, just sold for $2.1 million that belonged to a collector who happened to be a friend of mine. I don't want to say his name, but yeah, that one was pretty nice.
Brian Scotto.
Yeah, I would, yeah. But this was the precursor to the Supra. It was the original Japanese supercar. It was the one that put Japanese design on the map. This thing's so cool, man. I love this one. I do. He does too. I know. I feel you, brother. I feel you. But this is a Roadster. I don't know if I like it in Roadster because it has kind of a Jaguar E-Type kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I feel that.
The Roadster. I like the hardtop, man. The hardtop.
Well, and I think there's like a normal one
Yeah,
downstairs.
but
There is.
the hardtop makes it Datsun-y.
I
Yeah.
think so. It kind of Z feel. But man, why would you say? I say the Datsun.
I guess
the
this came
Datsun is
first.
2000
Yeah, this came first.
2000 GT.
My apologies. My apologies.
Respect where respect is due.
Yeah, that interior
This is one of the things that made me a Toyota guy.
How much are they going for these days? Like $2 million? Yeah.
$2 million for that one was a left-hand drive hardtop, and that was at Barrett Jackson or Pebble Beach a couple years ago.
I want wood grain.
I know.
Yo, tell me about it.
Hey, it even comes with a fire extinguisher in the back.
I want to say that
Nope,
this could be
nope.
removed for. I want to say this could be removed for. This is easy access to oil filter.
Oh.
I might. It's an easy access panel to get into something, but I want to say it's an oil filter.
You don't like that one?
My kid loved this movie. Grew up with this movie. The story I heard was this movie was one of Pixar's failures at the box office. Cars 1 did not meet the numbers it needed to meet, but because the merchandising was so successful, that's what made them do Cars 2.
It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know
So
that.
it did not do as well as all the other movies, but because the cars, which was crazy because my kid got into this, so they had Lightning McQueen. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I buy you a Lightning McQueen toy for like $4. Then they go, oh, they got Lightning McQueen when he drove through the weeds and got weeds in his grill. So you got to buy that one too. Then they had it where they painted him like a hot rod. Then they had it. Then they had all the different facial expressions. So you had to buy like 6 different Lightning McQueens. And then there are all the other characters.
And then the backpacks.
So, and it's just everything. And the sippy cups.
And all
the chip. Oh man, it's everything. Right. For the big reveal, it's the RX-7 concept, the original FD3X concept. And it's a hardtop. I know Brad pointed that out, but this isn't a production version. This is like, I think this would be like the last one before, and it feels like it's a little bit of a smaller scale, like a tad, a little bit, like it's not quite to the scale of the production version.
Yeah, it does look a little small.
And you can see the front end's different. And
So
everything.
the front is different.
Break it down, or tell me what's different about this
Front's
one.
different. The mirrors are different.
I want to say off the front
the fender
fender
is different.
Yep.
Yeah, the fender shape is
Mirrors
different.
are kind of the
I
same
think the
though.
wheelbase might be different
Is it
too.
missing a body line?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the body line.
Have we said explicitly that this is a fiberglass shell? Okay, it's a fiberglass
so
shell.
look where the seats are.
I'm actually kinda
If you look
sad.
where the seats are, look where the seats are. So they never really finished it on the interior. So that's a full-blown concept. It debuted at like Tokyo Motor Show or something, but this was the car that launched the FD3S.
What are you sad about?
The mirrors, I kind of wish they actually did the mirrors like this because that's what the S4.
These are like the Ganador
That's
type.
what the S4
yeah.
and S5 aero mirrors kind of look like, but
Oh wait, so what is it? What's the S4 S5 aero mirror then? So we got
S4. So my mirrors on
Yes.
the Torque Stallion, that's
Yeah.
an S4 aero mirror, and then the white car outside,
Yep,
that's
yep.
an S5 aero mirror. Yeah. But so the regular ones, they don't. They're just like a.
Oh, like the ones that are at my house that you have.
The regular ones are just like just a mirror with no aero design or anything.
No hole in it.
Yeah, no holes
have
or
that little-
anything like that. The door handles are smaller on this thing.
Oh,
The rear window is a little funky.
the rear window doesn't look like it's got too extreme of an angle.
The bumper, it's all different back here. The taillights has the same design, but this looks more like a Taurus.
Oh, dude, I
than
just
a
saw
FD.
this. Art Center. They did this at Art Center in Pasadena. So that's way cool. You guys know Art Center?
Yeah, I
Art
think.
Center College of Design.
Yeah,
it's in
yeah, yeah.
Pasadena. It's where a lot of great like automotive
I like that orange.
artists. I love the
That's a
color.
really cool color.
Color orange.
This thing's been here for a while. I've seen this thing here before.
Yeah, it's sweet. Sweet. Can't wait to finish them up. Come jack these mirrors.
Nissan R390. This was a one-of-one road car. Nissan made this car as a follow-up to the R382. It was a race car in the late 90s, mid-90s. It did horrible at Le Mans, but it's still a sick car. They were going to put an RB in it, but because of the iron block, it was too heavy. So this thing's a V8.
V8
with this thing's
cantilever.
suspension and everything. This is the one-of-one road car because I think they were going to try to homologate it. But they made a couple race cars and they raced it for a little bit in the 90s.
This is
But
the road version.
this is the only one. This
So
is
you
the
guys can
one-of-one
see the
road car.
R390 on stream, right? We're
Yeah,
good?
So this one is the only one of its kind in the world.
And it's in a museum.
And it's in this
Let's
museum.
take it out.
I know. Drive it, right? So look at the center lock wheels. AP brakes. Like, oh, this thing's so cool. It's got kind of a Bugatti EB110 front end here that I really like.
It's a lot of paints. There's
You
a lot
guys-
of scratch swirls.
You guys don't need to tell me when you nut, okay?
Who's ever detailing these things needs to work on it. Yeah, this hood design is sick.
Yeah, it's super dope.
So it was like a really small displacement. I want to say it was like a 3-liter or a 3.5 liter V8. Top speed of 220 miles an hour. Like this rivaled the McLaren F1. The back end, you can see even the back end had like the 90s feel to it. It just doesn't really look like a road car.
Hert, can you tell me?
Oh man.
All right,
Wheels are
here we go, guys. This is
Okay.
the section.
This is called the art of monozukuri. It's Japanese. It's actually a new word that means to craft things. It's all about the Japanese tuner world. They've moved cars in and out. There's a couple over there that are permanent, but this is the section that this is just my
Brazuku?
Yeah, that's a Brad Zuko right there. Yeah. This car was in, I believe it came in the yard. I think Larry brought this one with Team Wild Cars.
This
So
car
yes.
came with the That was sick. That's crazy that it's...
Hayashi Techno Phantoms.
All right,
Come
let's-
on,
let's-
Hayashi Techno Phantoms.
Those are sick. Techno, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Techno Phantoms? Those
Those
wheels
are
are sick.
two-piece wheels?
But and then he had them rebarreled.
Oh, yeah,
And
because
it's just
they're inside and
So,
outside
oh
in
my
the middle.
god. So, oh no, these aren't the Techno Phantoms. These are something else. I don't even know.
All right, let's read it.
We can't go back to the R390 because it'll kill our stream.
Unable to purchase a Skyline while stationed in Japan, owner Patrick Solomon discovered this right-hand drive Nissan Skyline 2000 GTX Camry in the U.S. Since the car was not in perfect condition, Solomon chose to give it a mild custom job, embracing distinct Japanese customizing styles. The low profile, the flared fenders gave it Shakotan, which means low car, right?
Shakotan is like the
like low style, low car. Shakotan stands and the chin spoiler and rare Riverside Super Rivers.
That's those wheels.
Yeah, Riverside Super
Don't
Rivers.
even know what those are.
Embody the Kaido, which is like a race car inspired style. For performance, the factory engine was upgraded to a Skyline GTR, so it's got an RB26.
I think this one originally had it originally had the L series, but then when he got it, it had a SR, and then he swapped to an RB.
I do remember that.
500.
This was the one that came after Long Beach after FD. They bought a bunch of. He's with Wild Cards.
Dude, I remember when he came in.
Do you know why they call this a Kenmari? This is like a C110 as the chassis code, but they call it a Kenmari because in Japan they had a advertising campaign with a couple, like an American gaijin couple, and they were dancing around and everything, and they had things on their shirts. His said Ken, hers said Mary. It was like the ultimate American couple enjoying this car, Ken and Mary, and then everybody just called it Kenmari. So it just kind of blended together.
550 horsepower.
550 horsepower RB. I think it's a single turbo too.
Got it.
I like the lips on the wheel.
Right? Yeah, I know. I want to say these might be re-barreled. These aren't even like whatever the Riversides. They're wider than they were before when they first came out.
The fitment is just.
Oh yeah, it's a Fisker Karma in the background.
It's not like a rubber band tire. I like that.
Because it makes 500 horsepower.
Love the wheels. I don't even know what those top wheels are. Devil Shadow spokes. But I love the Equipo ones, the RS Watts, the Techno Phantoms.
How did you confuse these?
I didn't see the wheel. I couldn't even see the face. He used to have Techno Phantoms on there. He used to have those exact wheels on that. And I saw the barrel, and I'm like, those are the Techno Phantoms. And I looked down, and I'm like, no, those aren't. Those are something completely
This
different.
is a good comparison. The best of Mazda, like the best of what Mazda actually made, pretty much, and the best of what Honda has today, the K2 4-motor. Or is that a 20?
Yeah, I was looking at that too. Is that a 20 or a 24?
Is that Tanner Faust car back there? No, it's Osbo's.
You can buy that constantly goes up in value. This is like a house in California. You buy this and you'll make money on it, guaranteed.
Still?
Okay, now this one, I feel like this is not a turbo.
So it's not worth it?
No, but Titan does big turbo engines. I think they went with a standard body and then they converted it to a turbo because it has the full hardtop. It doesn't have the Targa and it doesn't have the wing too. But you could also do a wing delete, but doing that Targa delete is really rough. I mean,
But we did learn from that turbo guy.
very few.
Yeah.
I rode in a
Hert,
hard
like,
top.
Hert, like
This,
from
I
the
rode
factory,
in a red hardtop.
Mark IV hardtop.
but being in a
turbo.
museum, wouldn't you think a hardtop turbo model would make sense?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super mild.
And
It's
the
a tight
wing made it
horsepower.
slower.
Nero was the man. You guys, you know Nero? You
Yeah,
know
I'm
Nero?
from
You got Florida. That's right,
Yeah.
man, dude. His stuff.
Nero and his brother Bottle.
Yes, man.
So this is a big
And
time.
they had that white boy driver. Who was their driver? Gary White. Gary White used to drive their cars, man. He was super fast, man.
It's actually not my chest, it's my shoulder. That's a weird thing to say, no context.
Hey, Brad, what does the license plate mean?
That means 14,
30 pounds of boost in this thing. Well, it's a 28. No, it's not 30 pounds, sir.
14.
29. Is it 14.5 as bar?
14.
Come back.
Do you know the R390 that we looked at earlier? This is the predecessor to it. This is the R382. This one's actually got a V12, which is really nuts. I think it was like 1968, 1969. This one, oh man, of course. So this was the one that Nissan did before. This raced at like Fuji Speedway, and I want to say that's Fuji Speedway right there. Look at that.
And it gave
Transported.
a molded passenger seat that nobody would fit in, like that other one.
Yeah, I don't know why they
Race
did
car,
that
race
extra-
cars mold
extra-
seats for drivers.
I know, is that
So the
nuts?
driver is molded for that.
Every time I need to be a race car driver, I'll finally fit in a seat.
Yeah.
Look at the transaxle in the back. Check that out.
That's you.
Check out the cross section of the tires. And then look at the suspension mounting. Like Brad, that doesn't look very like sturdy too.
That gearbox is sick.
I know, right? Look at the way this is the. the way the control arms come off to that
It
little,
almost looks like it's
that little
using
cradle, that
Corvette.
subframe
Yeah.
cradle looks really weak, to be honest. Like everything else is
Corvette
super
looks like
stout.
that. If you look
It
at
might
the
be
back of
steel.
Corvette,
If it's steel,
Yeah,
it might be
that
steel.
looks super sketchy.
What would they have used based off of the year?
I don't know what
In
they did in 69.
1969,
They would have
yeah,
used
completely.
party. They used party.
Yes. OG Soviet?
This is it.
Yes.
That's a good question, Hert. How long until we remove the cacao emote?
I don't want to talk about it. Nissan Sylvia. Look at that old ass bag.
What's up, South Africa? How you doing today?
This is a 66. I don't know. Did you know who did this? The guys from JDM Legends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get over there. Don't worry, guys.
CSP 311 is the chassis guy. I don't know anything about this. I'm not much of a Nissan guy, but this is like the OG Soviet.
I love the color.
First rotary Mazda. This is the first time that Cosmo got down, and Mazda got down with Wankel.
so this is rear-wheel drive now.
This is a real drive.
Mazda acquired the license to build Wankel engines from NSU Motorin Work, now Audi, in 1961, and began experimenting even before a prototype arrived from Germany with its improved fuel economy, superior performance, and functional reliability. Let me say it again.
Functional reliability.
With its improved fuel economy, superior performance, and functional reliability. Functional reliability, the Mazda rotary engine eventually bore little resemblance to the German's counterpart. The Cosmo, Mazda's futuristic hand-built flagship, was introduced at the 1964 Tokyo Motor Show and began production in 1967 as the first mass-produced two-rotor vehicle.
I gotta say though, like this car is sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
I love the lines on this car for 1964.
I love
like,
the
this
OG
is super
Mazda
cool.
logo too.
I know, right?
The OG Mazda logo is so good.
You know what they did? So like
never
Scotto will
noticed
like
that.
to say that
With
this
the
came from
extended
Audi,
M.
that the Wankel came from Audi. But I think the big thing that everybody's talking about over the years is that Mazda really took like the Wankel technology to, like they won Le Mans
They
with
made
like
it
a
better.
four-rotor.
They
They
made
made
it
it better.
better.
They took it and they made it better.
is.
There's a lot of Japanese
Hey,
manufacturers.
nice design. But
Yeah, thank you, German. We will take it over
Yeah,
here.
let us make it.
We'll take it from here.
Let us make it dope. I love rotary engines. They're beautiful.
First Honda Hatch.
Let's hear it,
Less
Nads.
than 50 horsepower. Was it inline?
45.
45. Oh, there it is,
That's less than
45
50.
horsepower. Inline 2. So they also had an N360, which was the JDM version. This is the US version, was the N600. I want to say it was like a little bit higher displacement. than
It's a
the 360.
I thought it
two-cylinder.
was
Yeah,
three-cylinder.
it's a two-cylinder, man. It's an inline 2, 600cc. This is what's known in Japan as a K car. K car is like the smaller ones, but they brought it over here. It didn't sell very
I
well.
don't know if this car would
obviously,
move with me in it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if the three of us, if all four of us got in this thing, it would not
Can you
go.
imagine do like a hustle, like go
Although,
like this
although
around
it
the
would
corner?
be instantly stance, though, you know.
Yeah, slam out.
You know, I've always wanted to see someone do like a little like a B series swap in this
That
to
would
see
be
what
cool.
would
It'd be
happen.
too fast.
It would be
A stock
too
B16.
furious.
Single overhead cam would work.
A B16 in this would be so sick. I always have wanted a B16 car.
Oh, I'm going to show you a B16 car.
Never. That should help you getting constantly caught by mod. Also, I might need your help soon.
Why do they call it a tanker build?
Because these are tanks that were on the end of airplanes, and they used to drop them when they would have fuel, and they would find them all over fields. So then people would take them and try to make cars out of them
Why would they drop them?
because they were empty and they didn't want to carry them back.
Exactly. So they were extended range fuel tanks that hung on the bellies of planes, and I don't think they could actually land safely.
They can't.
with them.
They have to-
So they're only designed to go as far as they can go on their mission, and then once they got out there, they would
They
drop
drop
them and
them.
use the reserve tanks to get back.
that's
And then that's what people started building
Belly tanker.
Bonneville land speed cars for them.
Do you want to tell them? Yeah.
Sick. I would love to build something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did skip some cars. We will be going back.
Hey, let's talk about these.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay,
So they
let's
used
go-
to just dump these in the ocean?
So they would get dumped. They would get dumped all over the place when they'd be doing them. But a lot of times, if they did salvage them, they just sat in army surplus, and people started buying them and saying they're super aerodynamic, and they build build land speed cars.
And other times, humpback whales will just eat them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Sad.
I know.
So it's basically a Model T that you could buy basically for $100 back then. The Model T front
Model
end,
T front end?
Model T back, rear end. They put some kind of motor in it, and then they put a belly tanker and connect it. And these cars flew. And you still see them at shows today. Some old dudes come out with them.
SoCal Speed Shop has got a really famous one that they did, right? So
Yeah. They were plentiful, now they're not. They
they're
just don't
plentiful.
stop gas
They were
tanks.
plentiful, and now they're not.
I'm gonna get
so
some more
now
water
we
real
know
quick.
that they were
Okay.
plentiful, and now they're not. Let's.
I actually don't know a lot about
I
them.
want to say this is an Indy 500 car.
24, so that's a real hand crank motor. That actually really
Oh.
does start the motor right there.
Dude, I've heard about this, but I don't know anything about it. This raced at what's called the Culver City Speedway. They used to have an oval track in Culver City. I've heard about it, just like Riverside, but I mean, this is a long time ago. So this is like IndyCar racing, but it won a 250-mile race at Culver City Speedway.
That's
I
also
heard
they
that.
did planking, right? When they had plank wood.
Oh, woodboard
Woodboard racing.
I don't know about that one, but I don't know what it was made out of. But that's super cool. I also heard back in the day that when they used to do these Indy cars, the cars, they would not be able to turn right. They only designed them to turn left, but then they realized, like, what happens if you get spun out and you have to turn? They could only turn right. Then they also used to have ones where they had someone who rode next to them in the Indy 500 called a riding mechanic. They would ride shotgun in case the car broke down. That's how long the race took back then. So this is like, I guess, this is
Friction
an LA thing.
shocks, guys.
What's
That's
that?
the shock right there. So it's a
It looks like a
friction
connecting
shock.
rod.
All it does is it puts pressure against it with rubber in between, and that was the shocking system. It's called a friction
That's what
shock.
dampened the shock.
That's what dampened the
What?
springs. It's called friction
Look at that
shock.
steering rack. Like, what's the front end on that thing? So
We call that a dead man's thing. Because when the axle falls out, the car hits the
You're
ground
dead,
and you're
you're
dead
dead.
and you flip over.
look
So-
at that steering wheel too. That goes forever.
Comforting.
Yeah.
So that's nuts.
Let's just fucking die.
This is a dirt track.
Honestly-
oh, Nancy. Oh man, I know this.
Honestly, the coolest car in here is that Big Daddy.
Oh, the big Ole,
big Ole
Bronco. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
So,
that's-
this is an OG hot rod. This is a Model A. What year is this, Brad?
It's pretty big.
Oh, 29.
28, 29.
29.
That,
Yeah.
Why does it look
So the
so
grills,
big?
because it's not cut down. So this was the OG way that they would do these hot rods. They would just cut the fenders off and then low boy or high boy them. Nowadays they trim the grills and
Let's watch
everything
the
else.
film.
What's the film doing?
Join us as we watch the film provided by Petersen Automotive Museum.
All right, guys, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, you know what this is? This is Dan Gurney, All-American Racers. This is an OG Indy car.
This is an Indy car. This
Yeah.
is in Toyota Grand Prix and all that.
This is the Indy Eagle. Look at the exterior. Look at the
Aluminum upper control line already.
Yo, that's
Love that.
so fire. This thing is dope.
So good.
This thing is amazing.
Aluminum and aluminum. All aluminum parts way back in the 60s.
And those, like people are still making arms that same way.
That exact
Yeah,
same way.
like I have arms like that on my RX-7. Just like piece of tube, put a fitting on the end of it. Boom. Suspension.
Dan Gurney's.
You like, where's the coilover? The coilover's stuck in the middle. It's a, whatchamacallit?
Inboard suspension.
255 cubic inch Ford V8.
Dan Gurney raced the Ford GT40 to win at Le Mans. Dan Gurney was also the very first person to spray champagne on the podium.
Oh, really?
They gave him a bottle of champagne at Le Mans, and he's like, I'm not going to drink it. I want to just shake it up and spray it on everybody. So he was the guy who invented the champagne spray party.
All these fences have faces. That's why I like
Isn't that
these
crazy
here
how
cars.
expressive they are?
They all have a face, like a happy face, a sad face, like I'm confused.
Is that car catfishing us? That's happened to me online before. That happens to me a lot.
It's not a Shelby Cobra, it's a Shelby Catfish.
It happens to me a lot online.
Shelby Catfish.
But it's like they have a personality when you're looking at them.
If you guys could stop catfishing Nads on the internet, that'd be great.
Man, I'm so gullible. Please don't do that. Look at this one. Don the Snake Prudhomme. This is OG. This is back when the engines were in front of the drag racers. Look at the steering on the front end of this and everything. It's nuts. I can't believe. Oh, also, look at. Let's go to the.
What about your bicycle tire that you use?
Let's just
Yeah,
take a moment to actually
Gold on the paint.
appreciate how stylish this is, because like
they don't do race cars like this.
no, there's a lot of ugly shit, you know, in the realm of racing these days. But they actually did a really good job. One that's red, white, and blue. Hard to go wrong with that. But just like the design,
Gold on black.
it's like a
That's the torsion, you guys. That all right there is what springs the front end. That little piece right there is the torsion that's holding this front end up. That little black tube. It's amazing how minimal it is.
So this is the car that was
Supercharged.
around in that video?
This one is one of them, yeah.
One of them.
So, supercharged 427, sock motor,
Hundred-
side oiler, single overhead cam.
Manual injection.
Yep.
Billet rockers, aluminum rods and pistons, copperhead gasket.
But hold on, this is the craziest thing to me.
Built in
We
Gardena.
can't. I don't know if you can
Shout
get
out.
in here, Drew. If you can get in here with the camera, but look in there. His legs went
Underneath.
the pumpkin. So basically,
If the
his
rear end
kibbles
blew,
and bits
you weren't
were
having
right at
kids.
the back of that 4.9 inch. Right.
Thank you.
That's look at the steering
The
wheel.
rear end blew up. You
I don't
weren't
even know.
having
That's
kids.
not even a steering wheel.
You know how many dips I've broken in my lifetime?
Now think about that.
Yeah,
Think about if you were in that car.
I would never put myself in
And not only that, look at the tire to the driver, tire to driver.
blows
Like,
up.
Do you know what this thing is right here? That's called a scatter plate.
that's the. Look at how small that. Look at how small that scatter shield
That
is.
scatter shield
That's-
goes right towards the driver. That's the scatter shield. So with the engine backfires,
These guys like playing with that.
danger,
Man. Oh man.
Okay, so we should have took this to Baja because we probably would have made
Yep.
it.
Which is crazy. This was in 1970, and isn't our bug 70?
Our body's 73.
Oh, 73. So this is around the same era.
Muradas are toilet.
Made sure that I knew where the dead zones were, and apparently I missed
My
one.
boy's car, the JDM Ding Dong, Johnny Wong, EF Civic, 1990. I want to say.
9091.
Yep. It
Hey,
was.
wait. Jonathan Wong, I never actually personally thanked you for the beautiful article you wrote up on the Twerk Stallion
Oh,
Super
that's
Street.
right. He did write the story.
Yes,
That's right.
So thank you,
That's right.
thank you. Your words were touched my soul.
First
dude
car
was
I put
editor.
nitrous on.
This car?
First car
EF?
I ever put nitrous on was this car.
Not
Johnny-
this actual car.
Not this car, but that
In-
series car.
In 1998, I started at Petersen with Johnny. He was a Super Street editor, and I worked at something called Max Speed. He had a super clean black EF on these exact super fins. These super fins. He ended up selling the car, keeping the wheels. He wanted to get this car. He got this car. This is based on Junior Asperger's color. It's a guy from Redline that had a really fast EF that was a street racer. Johnny built it up with everything that he wanted to do if he had it in like that back in the day. So it's got a B16A, it's got an SIR engine, Hoonigan exhaust. Look at the Hoonigan exhaust. Oh my God.
Got a wing mirror?
No. He's got a wink mirror, the
He's got
OG
a
wink
wink
mirror.
mirror.
OG wink mirror.
I needed to order that for the Baja. That's the one.
But I love the super fins on this. Also, the one weird thing that he did on it, this is an OG Tracchioto Rocket Bunny from K-Mura. This is a real deal Rocket Bunny EF that's one of one, side skirts and front bumper. But it's not, obviously, it's
It's the
not
most
full
chill
bumper.
thing they make.
It's
huh?
it's a very chill thing.
This wing is fire.
I know. I don't know who did that wing. I don't know. If that wing might be the Tracchioto wing also, but I don't know who did the wing.
Rywire had one just like this, right? A white
Yeah,
one.
Rywire didn't have a carbon fiber one. He had a different one. I
Gotcha.
want to say it was a spoon.
The
spoon
color on
ductile.
that thing.
And the color's insane.
I know.
God.
So that's
Changing
Peter
colors.
Vong's car. That's an R8 Celica with an S2000 engine.
That's 2000 motor. Cool.
Yeah,
Honda makes-
S2000
Honda, man.
Hey,
People hate on
Brad,
Hondas, but they make some really good shit.
People who know more than I do, why do you have to run the S2000 gauge cluster when you do an
You
S2000?
don't have
I don't
to.
know.
It's just
It's a-
sick.
it's a dope gauge
it's
cluster.
yeah, it's
No,
just-
I think you have to.
No,
though.
I don't think you
I thought
have
Mickey
to.
said when he did it in his Corolla that I thought the story was, but it is pretty sick. To
Yeah,
have
it's
that
just
as
maybe.
full-
Yeah, maybe if you're running stock ECU, you have to. I don't know, but
Not with Honda.
no, I don't
Honda,
think-
you
Yeah,
can do
right.
whatever
I was
you
gonna
want.
say, I don't
It just
know.
looks sick.
Just
Whatever.
everyone that I see makes a
People-
swap. Do
people
the
put
cluster.
people put those clusters in cars just because
Yeah.
they're cool.
It's a dope cluster.
It is the nicest
With the way
one
the
of Honda
sweep,
Yeah.
the sweep
Yeah.
and
It
everything.
goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
color on
this
this
thing was
thing.
super clean. I think this was featured in Super Street. I don't know if it might have been on the cover.
This lighting doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't give it benefit.
Oh my god.
They could kind of see it from that side, and they were admiring the
Look at this,
color.
like, look at the flip right here.
Yeah, I know.
Here, I got it.
Brown, purple, black,
Yeah.
blue,
Here, I'll walk backwards, chat. You can kind of see it.
everything.
Rebarreled BBS RSs on this one.
I want to build an old ass cool car.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, I love these Celicas.
I just want to build an 86 hatch.
I'd say, what would you build? Is that it?
Yeah, that's like my old car. I had two of them in my past. One of them had a 1J in it, just the motor in it, never actually. Yeah, it was just chassis and a
Apache?
1J. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I got it for $900, and then I sat on it for a year and a half to try to get the money together to put it together, and then eventually.
Hatch?
Yeah, and then had to sell it. So I had a Hachi with a 1J mounted in it, but that's all it was. I never did anything else with it. Ah. God, it feels.
I like
That
Gucci.
was-
Gucci's got a super clean one.
Yeah.
Gucci's got a clean one. I like
Oh, yeah.
Mickey's. Mickey
Yeah.
did the one with the S2000
Yeah.
engine in it. That's
Mickey
super
builds
cool.
clean ass cars.
Yeah, his cars.
Yeah, he does.
His EG is like one of my favorites.
It's a cool, really, really cool car.
This is the one
Dude.
we were watching with the fast dogs the other day. It was chrome or something.
Frederick Osbos, championship winner. Hert?
I don't remember if he won the championship with this one or
The
the.
number says one.
He's from Britain. No donks in
No
there.
donks in Britain. Yeah, that makes
Stay
sense.
up, Brandon.
I
Sorry.
want to say I don't know if this is the one that won the championship or not.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I don't remember.
He says he won the 2015 championship in this one. Yep.
He wins too much shit.
Yeah, he does. Isn't he the winningest driver now?
He's been in a lot of second places lately.
Yeah.
Winningest? Can I take that? Winningest?
That's a real word.
That's a real word.
Winningest?
Yeah, that's a real
Winningest,
word.
yes.
Wow.
Yes, Brad.
Winningest.
So this car's super sick.
This car is so
Four-cylinder,
fast.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Dude, all of his cars are so
There was
stupidly
no
fast.
car-
2AR.
There was no gap he couldn't close with this thing. But like at the same time, it's not a traditional rear-wheel drive car.
No, it's a rear-wheel drive conversion,
But-
which a lot of people will rip on. But they make this car in an all-wheel drive configuration
Well,
in Europe. Like,
What I heard is they just use like Supra.
it's a super rear end. Steph
yeah.
uses a super rear end in this one.
Yeah.
Didn't they get rid of that rule?
I don't know. I still
But
think you
just
can't
how he
use trucks
said,
or
it,
SUVs.
there's,
Yeah.
there's like a small run of all-wheel drive
Completely.
ones, so that allows them to take the rear subframe. Because even the front-wheel drive ones made here still have the bolt points
For the rear- for the all-wheel
rear
drive, yeah.
the rear subframe. So you just pop that in there, throw your motor in.
All credit to Steph though for making a rear-wheel drive.
Yo,
conversion.
everything Steph makes is
I'm not
amazing.
hating it at all. I would
No.
actually love to drive this car just to understand what it even feels like. It's
Totally.
like people hate on Formula Drift cars, and I get it. Like, not my style, but at the same time, if you wouldn't want to hop in the seat of one of these just to feel it out, I can.
Basically any FD
Do you
car,
wanna see
but
Hert-
especially
Do you want to
this.
see her drive a pro level Twitch? You want to see her drive a pro level FD car, Pro 1 car? Because I won't be
Wait,
able
hold
to get you
on.
in the current car, but they have that blue one that they did in the TRD graphics that John Sabal did. They did a demo car that Frederick's using it for drift taxi.
Okay.
I asked Steph if you could drive it, and he said, "Yeah, maybe in the off season." So we might be able to get you in not a
let everybody know
Pro
your boy-
1 car.
your boy
Not, hey,
your boy's
don't-
got some
don't-
juice.
Don't break it.
If it breaks, it wasn't ready. Okay, and I know Steph, so it ain't gonna break.
yeah. I saw this car. This is how old I am. I was at LACR, Los Angeles County Raceway, when this car ran nines for the very first time at Battle of the Input. I didn't know what it was. I was shooting for a magazine. It was the cleanest, yellowest car. It had nothing on it.
What magazine?
Max Power. Way back in the day. So, shooting for this magazine, and I really liked race cars, and I ran with the guys from Redline, and I went out to see this thing, but I was more of a super guy back in the day. This was pre-Hondas. This car ran. It clicked
Hip, hip.
off the number.
Hip, hip.
Everybody went crazy. So I just turned around. I started taking pictures of it, and it ran like a 9.8 or something like that. Steph later said that he actually ran the number. He went with Frank Troy from Battle of the Imports, and they rented LACR on their own 2 days before. They ran the number, and no one believed it. All the timing people, they couldn't understand. It was the first Honda front-wheel drive to get into the 10s. Now, Brad, what chassis is this?
EK.
It is not an EK.
What?
It has an EK body on it, but it's actually an EF. So this
What?
car,
This an old Johnny?
This is an old Johnny. This is Steph's black EF that he used to street race. Steph worked at a place called Honda Pro for Viet Lam, and then he worked at JG Engine Dynamics. When he was at JG Engine Dynamics, he wanted to build something that was a Prelude VTEC motor. At the time, it was a brand new motor, H22.
This is
he was
H22?
he was the first one to do an
That's so
H22
sick.
because it was so big. They started trying to wedge it in. It wouldn't fit between the shock towers. So he was working with a dude named Sean Carlson who owned a company called New Forms. Sean and Steph started looking at it and they go, well, because we want to run the engine so badly, let's cut up the shock towers. So they started to cut up the shock towers to fit. The chassis was so bent and noodly at that point, and they said, well, let's keep going. So they kept going with the EF. While they were tearing it apart, they're like, the EK was the jam then. So they go, why don't we just make the fiberglass, shape it like an EK? So this is actually an EF with an EK chassis. It's got a 650 horsepower H22.
So that's why the back looks kind of funny.
It looks kind of funny, right? The proportions aren't quite right. Everybody thinks that it's just like kind of a stretched out EK,
No,
but
they
it's
just-
actually an
they just
EF.
added
They
five-
just sort of
Ah.
built around it. And if you look at it, like, he didn't know what he was doing. He said the first time they pulled the parachute, they set the parachute too low. So when they pulled it, it actually made the back end lift. So the front end of the car actually dug in. He almost totaled the car the first time around. So they had to redo the parachute, stock transmission, Brad
H
pointed that
pattern,
out. Stock
transmission.
H pattern because they didn't have transmission. After Hert built, I'm sorry, what do you got?
Let's read this, Johnny. Real quick.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I love this thing.
In this stripped-down Civic, Stephen Papadakis became the
Stefan.
first.
Pump it up, it goes.
In this stripped-down Civic, Stefan Papadakis became the first to race a front-wheel drive vehicle in the quarter mile in under 9 seconds. At the time, most considered 13 seconds to be the limit for front-wheel drive cars. Pushing the edge of performance, Papadakis also became the first driver to break the 8-second barrier. Through these achievements, Papadakis and his team became one of the most popular competitors in the emerging compact car drag racing class.
So this car.
Yeah, we can see the back. I'm going. Keep talking.
See the back? So this car used the standard.
We might lose signal here because this is where we dropped before. No, we'll just see. If we drop, we'll be right back.
This car used the standard east-west configuration, front engine, front-wheel drive with a standard gearbox. Steph later did a 99, and he was the first one to move the engine north-south and push it way out in front of the front wheels because your goal for a front-wheel drive drag car is to make the front end look. So Steph was
one of the
super.
first ones to put a front engine in the back of the CRX
He
back
also,
in the day too.
No, it was still front engine, but he converted it to rear-wheel drive. Yeah.
DVS shoe sponsor. I mean, if you can't tell by the DVS being an older logo, just look at the tribal.
Yeah, exactly. This is way back. Look at this. Robert Wilson, modern. Oh, don't touch it. Robert Wilson. And then Benson's did the. I touched his car. Sorry, Steph. Oh man, I love this car. So he was sponsored by Honda really early on. Toyo didn't really make tires, but they still sponsored him anyways. This car was so advanced for the day. First tube chassis, first one into the 9s, first one into the 8s. Then his other car, the 99, he was the first one into the 7s. First one to take a Honda to 200 miles an hour with the rear-wheel drive. A rear-wheel drive converted Civic that had a NSX, a twin-turbo NSX J Series in it. That thing was a beast. He sold that to someone in Australia, I believe. Then, Steph, at the peak of drag racing, got tired of drag racing and started doing drifting. He actually drove an S2000. He partnered with some nobody driver named Tanner Faust and took him to a championship. So Tanner, no one knew who Tanner was when Tanner started driving. He was just a kid who wanted to drive. He used to drive this S13 for these guys in San Diego. Remember those guys? So
It was yellow too, wasn't it?
How long do I have the backpack for? I don't know. Sorry.
What's that?
Someone asked me how long I have the backpack for.
it's surgically attached
Until
to
they
Drew at
take
this
it back.
point. So. But love this car. Rest in peace, Sean Carlson, because Sean Carlson passed away a few years ago. But Steph also said when he first built this car, Sean taught him the value of marketing because he built this car and it was like 7 different colors because they just cobbled it all together and everything. And Sean says, listen, you got to paint it like a bright, crazy car. And when this car showed up, it looked like nothing else back then because all the cars, Viet Lam, Miles Bautista, Lisa Kubo, even Adam Surutari, his FD3S was super clean, but everybody else didn't really have really clean cars. And this car was just super, super clean. All credit to Steph and Sean for what they did. And Steph said he didn't even know what he was doing. So the tube design, you could see like the roll cage design is a little wonky. It looks kind of like haphazardly placed. I think they just were like gusseting for gusseting and putting crossbars for the sake of crossbars. So it's definitely an old design. But yeah, I love this car so much. This is 76?
76 911 Turbo Carrera.
So this is the very first Turbo Carrera. This is the Widowmaker. This is the one that came on boost and just basically it would hurt people.
Why it was a Widowmaker was because it was made in the late 70s, early 80s, and California and United States was popular with a lot of fun drugs at this time. And everybody that bought these were drug dealers and crashed them.
It was something called Turbo Boost, where the boost would come on
Some
the
other kind of
turbos.
boost.
So
That's a
yeah.
lame ass, money having, non-driving ass.
But you know what I like?
Talent.
You know what I like? Here's a shout out to the design daddy, John Chase. I love the way that the graphic, the turbo graphic on this one, on the 76, that's like ultimate 70s.
That's pimp.
Yeah,
Did
right?
John do that?
No, but I mean, he can appreciate that.
I was going to say, huh?
I'm paying homage
Yeah.
to the design guy.
So it's something that design. Oh, now look at this. 959. This is
Why does it got an NSX tail?
no.
Why
NSX has got a this tail.
NSX tail?
The NSX has got a this tail.
Drop
This
the
still has a
knowledge.
6-cylinder. This was based on Porsche's rally program. They built this car to dominate the Dakar rally, everything else. It's their first supercar, essentially.
510
10
horsepower,
horsepower
boys.
back in the day.
That's daddy. Anything with 500 horsepower, 2.8
There was
liters.
a super arms race between Porsche and Ferrari. This competed against the F40. And I think they were both going for like the top speed. And I think the F40 went 211 or 204 miles an hour, and this one went 210. 211 top speed. They're nuts, man. So this still runs the standard Porsche flat six too, which is really cool. But an all-wheel drive system is Porsche's first all-wheel drive system. It's really crazy. The Dakar Rally ones that they did with the Rothmans livery are straight fire.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay.
That's just Drew.
That's just the way I stand.
It's not smell-o-vision.
The camera's sick.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah, that looks dope.
Look good? We're looking good?
Yeah, and you can hear nicely. Like this?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
So this is not a Carrera GT. This is a Carrera GT concept. So this isn't the production version. So the headlights are a little bit different.
So they
the
should at
side
least make
fronts are a little bit
750
different.
horsepower 2000.
No, dude, this is a good. This is a monster. This is a monster car. This is a V10.
Yeah, 5.5 liters.
Yeah,
So it's a
5.5
torquey
liter
guy.
V10. Yeah, completely.
Daddy.
Super fast. This is the car. It said this is the car that killed. Not this exact car, but this model car is the car that killed Paul Walker. So
This
he
is
was
the
in-
Paul Walker
He was in a
car.
CGT.
Oh.
So, and then a lot of people, Matt Farah wrote a really good piece that pontificated that because the driver, Roger Lotus, was actually a really, really skilled driver, that the deterioration on tires from it sitting in storage, the tires were too hard, yeah. So that's what
It's just amazing that 88 car went
Crazy.
211 miles an hour. This goes 205.
That was
88 car
in the
made
80s?
500 horsepower. This is a 2000.
Yeah, but this will do 0 to 60 and do the quarter mile way faster. They limit the top speeds now because it's like the arms race of the 80s. It's a different world now. You know?
That's just incredible that they put that.
It
out
is
there
impressive
like
that they're able to
In
do
the
that.
80s,
Completely.
they have that.
906 Racer. I don't know much about these either, but this one's also got the little seat, the passenger seat too that Brown was talking
Yeah,
about.
little tiny. I think that they must have to do that for the series. Like it doesn't have to fit somebody, but to be in that race series,
You have to have,
have
it
a
has to be a
passenger seat.
two-seater or something. It
My,
can't be a
our drag
single-seater
series
special.
is the same way. You have to have a seat there. It doesn't mean somebody has to sit in it.
Definition of what a seat is, right?
Yeah. You have a seat in there. Nobody can fit, but it's good. You're solid.
Drag reduction.
Give Nads a show right now. I think we are.
No.
This is it. This is the Nads show.
This one I love. These are the little model cars. These are the ones that I
Daddy
love.
right there.
This is 917K. They also made this in a long tail version. This thing is super. This thing, I don't know. This one doesn't have the horsepower, but they have V10 versions of these that make something like over 1,000 horsepower. So,
Yeah, it's quite tight.
back in the day, they had one that made something like 1,700 horsepower in Can-Am that was just nuts for the time. It was super dangerous.
600 horsepower.
Yeah. This isn't. Look at the top speed though, Hert.
220
On
mile an
Bull St.
hour.
Street.
You gonna do some
So
knockoffs
this thing
on
weighs
your
nothing,
car,
huh?
Hert?
Huh?
Knockoffs look so sick. You gonna do
Right?
some knockoffs on one of your cars?
Knockoffs? Is that what
Like
this
a center
Center
single.
guy
Yeah.
that holds it on with no
is? I
bolts.
can't afford that.
Maybe on the.
Oh man.
This is
Okay, so these ones are called. This is called the 956. This is Porsche's first works car in the 80s. This car was nuts. It was a. How
does he know so much?
I don't know. That's all chat saying.
Suzuka.
This is a flat six. This is the same standard engine as the 911, but this twin turbo version. Yeah, this thing is nuts. Look at the radiator in here. So, and these cars leaked oil. These cars were terribly built, but they were super fast. This car went really fast. They had customer versions called the 962s that came out after them. I actually like the 962s better because the front ends
Yeah,
are a little
I
weird.
remember those.
The 962s, you know, like Al Holbert ran one that was a low and brow car. And they had all sorts of crazy liveries on. Jägermeister had one too and everything. These are really cool. This ran in FIA Group C. So in the 80s, there was like a big power play between Porsche, Nissan, Jaguar. They ran an IMSA GTP also. Not the 956s, but the 962s. So.
Air hose.
This thing's
Boom.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lifts up.
This thing's gorgeous.
Yeah, these are. Oh, I love these. So.
There's your motor, I believe. There's your twin turbo motor.
Jeez, man, look at that.
Dual overhead cam. Post 6. Look at the water to air intercourse back in the day.
Oh, this is a Moby Dick engine. So this is off of the 935. This is the one with the big crazy, you know, looks like a 911, but a big swoopy version. I think there's a Kramer K3 version here too that we can see. I can't believe this fits in like a standard 911. This is the one with the super wide fenders to cover
Yeah,
all
well,
that
this
stuff.
fits in anything.
Yeah, right? No.
A gearbox manual with a cooler. So they're cooling the gear oil because the gear oil gets so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Who cools gear oil?
It's pretty common in racing.
Now?
Yeah, well, I mean, these students were doing 24-hour Le Mans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yo, fun fact. This is Scotto's favorite race car. This is a 911 GT1. This is, if you look at
fucking
it, this one
amazing.
still looks like a GT, like a 911, but it's just flared and pulled out everywhere.
Sorry, Scotto, that red car over there was faster and has just as much horsepower. And it's factory from 1988, so... Ha!
Alex Bernstein?
Bernou.
He was saying about how Porsches always kept factory headlights, factory taillights, and built around them. So, like, if you look at the car we were just looking at, let's see the taillights and things like that.
Completely. It still retains, like, completely. The cars always retain that.
Never did, yeah.
I'm gonna join you in that.
I just want to see Scotto get into this.
1997. I know, right?
No, this is the better example. So this is a 911. So if you look at the back of this bad boy,
What's up, Grid Life?
like it's still
How you doing today, man?
Like a 97 911.
it's still a 911 back here,
Completely.
and they just made it crazy. And if you look to your left, we're being watched.
Man, I don't think this one I don't like for some
Crazy
reason.
how the arrow keeps changing through the years.
Completely. This is like 2008. This is a RS Spider. Like this was, I don't know. I didn't really get down with these with the open cockpit and everything. But these were super fast though.
Then they
These
went back
ran
to
an
the
IMSA.
old compact again.
Well, now that's what they're running currently. They just retired this car last year.
I'm watching him watch us.
This one's a 919 hybrid. They just recently ran one called the 919 Hybrid Evo. They removed the headlights, removed the windshield wiper, took the restrictors off of it, did unrestricted tires,
Fingers.
and this thing set track records everywhere. I know I'm touching it. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I love this car so much. So this one I like. This one set a record at Spa. It set a record at Nürburgring. It's running around setting all sorts of records.
See this arrow.
The arrow's nuts. Look at this too. The extractor here, this is to let air come off of so it doesn't fill up in the fender wells.
No, trip on the engine displays. 2 liter.
2 liter.
Which I've all been telling you guys, we're going to have a 2 liter manufacturer war. 2 liter that makes 900 horsepower
Well, it's also
and
electric.
electric.
But it's also a hybrid because there's an electric there's a
motor with
cursor
that.
so it recharges with the brakes and then it actually gives it a boost too.
Out of 211 miles. They're still not beating the 88 car, guys. Sorry. Gonna buy me an 88 Porsche is all I heard.
This old girl right here is gorgeous. This
This
car
is
here is a twin.
this is Bruce Meyer's car.
Yeah.
This car won Le Mans. It's a Kramer K3. It's kind of like a 935, but it's a super extreme version of it. And oh man, we're trying to get this car in for build biology.
I wanna know what
Scott needs to get down with that. That tells, I want to say, I'm not entirely sure, but I want to say that tells you what position they're in the race. If they're in first, second, or third, they're in the top 3, those lights will light up. Or it might be for pitting. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But this one was super cool. This one won Le Mans in 1976, I want to say. It's like a 76 Le Mans winner. And Bruce Meyer owns a car. He's also one of the curators here. So he's got a really cool collection in Beverly Hills. Maybe we'll go see this car. 79. No. Yeah. 935 K3. What's that?
Those 1552s.
Hey, shout out to our boys at 1552, Matt Crook and the guys. They get it because they build their wheels. But this is a real turbo fan, though. So, but they build their wheels as an homage to these original Le Mans wheels. But look at the back, too.
There's your taillights again.
Yeah, if we
That's
get
right,
down
just
here-
like Bernice said. Look at the wicker bill back here.
Turbos.
Look at the wicker bill back here. It's actually like every little bit of arrow has a little wicker to it. I know, I'm trying not to. I just can't help it. So look at this. Look at the way the turbos are hung. If you can get down.
You do not hit right there.
I know. Twin turbos slung low off the back and everything. Oh, man. It's still air cooled. I love the way it still has like, here's the car, and they just said, yeah, we're just going to put all this on the outside of the car. You know, I just think that's. I'm not touching it. I can't.
You're
help it.
so close.
But look at the and then look at the hatch. Like this is the standard hatch. They just put this piece on to handle. I think there's a giant intercooler in there that fits in that.
Here are the boundaries.
I know. I mean, that's my dating life too. So I got to know. You just have to slap my hand. Just slap my hand. No.
We've been trying.
Von Dutch.
Oh,
This
now
is
once
probably
again,
one
we're
of my
now we're in the
favorite
John
vehicles.
Chase's land right here. Excuse us.
For Von Dutch, this is the real hot rodding. This is where all hot rodding came from. This is where custom, not like all you S chassis, E chassis, and Mustang owners do. This is custom, one off. They did it one time. There's only one of each one of these, and you'll only see them from this guy. Bubble cars were my favorite, and that's a bubble car.
Was there also Rat Fink? Was it also a
Rap
thing?
Fink,
Was it-
they're all custom.
All these artists in the way, Barris and everything.
They're automotive artists. and customizers.
Yeah, we need Chase here.
Wouldn't this be bitching to go drive down PCH?
This is a Barris.
Yes.
This is Barris.
Jetsons before the Jetsons.
Yes.
I love the TV.
Like that bubble window thing was.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I love it.
There's a lowrider over there, and then I think we can get out and then go down to the wall.
I just want to know what kind of TV they're watching.
That was the Jetsons, okay?
What show's going on there?
I Love Lucy.
Oh, the front's crazier than I thought it would be.
Why I honor
Because it's all one off. He wanted to be completely different, separate himself from everybody else.
Are you saying they're like casually watching like some domestic violence television?
Pow! Right in the kitchen.
Dude, this one.
Another
This was on the
Porsche.
cover of Road and Track. It was called Yellowbird. Alois Ruff. They brought a bunch of tuners out to see how fast they could go on this high-speed oval in Germany, and this thing went 211 miles an hour. I want to say.
It's an 80s car, that's
Yes.
why.
89.
Look, 87.
Check it out. Everybody else was doing Porsches. We're doing a wide body. They did a narrow body for aerodynamics because they knew the wide body wouldn't allow it. Look at the mirrors. Look at the aero mirrors. I'm not
telling you,
touching.
the
I'm
80s
not
were
touching.
good.
I'm not touching, dude.
Touchy.
I'm not touching. No touching. No touching. No. This thing was so sick. This was like,
You've got cars.
Will Roden used to have a 911 that had roof wheels on it too. The same style wheels. Man.
Didn't he sell it to be an off-road car?
He sold it. Yeah. That's
They they made it
Safari.
into
Safari car.
yeah.
Yeah. Or snow safari. Or the snow
Oh, is it the counter? I'm down for the counter.
Makes Porsches better.
Oh yeah. Are we going to the counter?
Is there is there a company card? Can the company pay for it?
I think so. We can figure out a way.
Cool. Yeah.
If we keep the stream on.
Yeah.
technically-
No. We'll do a counter stream.
Yes, we'll
Yeah?
do a counter. Is there a counter here?
Yeah. Apparently.
Is it right on the? It's right on the outside.
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
Oh, dude, we're gonna get down at the counter. Yeah, for sure. We can do a Q&A while we eat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to
They
the
serve
thing and then go
alcohol at
eat.
the
Yeah.
Ford V8. I like the way they did the intake back in the day too. Super cool. So, look at these brake vents. This is how they cool the brakes. Very small, super small. For an Indy car.
Yeah. Never let off says if we keep the stream, it's a business expense.
Thank you. Never let off. Very good idea. That is. That's exactly what it is.
Can you please give us the passport? Thank you so much.
Kostas, I checked it yesterday, and besides one spot, we could go basically everywhere.
We're good.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
That and the like mechanic shop, it dropped.
Oh, there's a mechanic shop downstairs too?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that. I've never been to the vault before.
Oh, really? The
Yeah.
vault's dope.
I know. I've never taken the tour.
Here you go. We're getting on the
All right, so we're at the Petersen Automotive Museum.
Every time you intro, it drops. Stop. They know where we are.
We are now entering the vault.
Michaela's giving us a tour. What are we? How many cars are down here?
About 230.
230. Vault.
Yeah, a few of them will have left. A few of these early cars, especially.
Almost pretty much all
we're
of
good.
them.
Yep.
Almost all of them.
All of them.
There's a team of it. Well, I'll show you guys the shop as well. I believe the Mercer still runs. Yeah, this is the Mercer Race Valve. It's from 1913. It's considered the most original. Has the most original parts on it. And this car in 1913 was going 60 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour.
And if you strip it down, take it down to bare bones, fenders off, extra lighting, everything, it can get up to 100 miles an hour.
Oh my god.
So that's your early
For
race car.
1913.
I like the windshield.
Yeah.
It's about $3,000 in 1913.
Wow.
That's big money.
Oh my
That's
God.
big money.
Money,
There.
yep, that's like $100,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Speedy, stop trying to get us to start things. No.
Yeah, but yes, so there was a group of teens working with our lead mechanic on fixing up a Roush Mustang, which actually may be still in the shop, so you can see that.
You want to point out some of your favorites?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know anything about any of
I
these.
know.
This is all early brass era stuff. So, I mean, this is like early history of the big three in the States here, but These are some of our luxury coach-built vehicles from the early 1930s. So a Pierce Arrow from 1931. You have a Packard here from 1931. I point out this is one of my favorite things. This is like hand-shaped metal. All the
You said
coach-built
big
cars.
three, so you're saying
That's all.
Chevy, Ford, and Dodge?
No, this is pre-Chevy Ford.
Well, no. So we have a 1903 Cadillac
That's crazy.
down on the end. That's before it was part of GM, but got picked up by GM in 1910. We have an early Chevrolet that would be GM as well, and then Ford is going to start in 1903. So this is all pretty early. We actually don't have very many early Chryslers. But LaSalle here, this LaSalle's from 34. That's a brand of GM as well.
These came with straight eights.
They did.
Yeah.
That's a wood Packard.
Yeah, straight 8. I was in
Yeah.
Detroit over the weekend and I went to the museum and they had one of the straight 8s.
Oh yeah, most of these are
Brian's wood car?
straight A's, straight sixes.
I like the mirror on the spare tires too.
Isn't that
yeah.
so great? You better hope you don't need your spare tires.
And it's just leather, it's just seat, yeah, just a belt. So you can just put it on the shitty tire, yeah.
I'm gonna bring you
You know
guys
what,
this
these
way
things
just
are
because we have
cool.
this other
Those-
two.
All the
And we'll come back around. We'll see the
Cool.
whole thing, but just because they paid for it.
So is this like 50s era?
Yeah, this is like moving kind of post-war. So
Okay.
our Cadillac's from 41. That was owned by Clark Gable.
That's not
Yeah,
Really
like it's
modified.
just all the hood emblems are so cool.
I know. I need to give a tour just on her ornaments. I gotta figure it out. We have a Tucker from 48. You guys know the story of Tucker. This is number 30 of the 51 that he built. It would have been Preston Tucker's personal car that he drove around.
Looks like Studebaker.
Center headlight.
better than
Yeah, the
anywhere
Tiller
else.
headlights, so the Cyclops headlights
Yeah,
steers
that's
with the
sick.
car.
I like that.
Seatbelts as an option. He used to paint his cars different colors to make it look like he had more cars than he actually did. So this car had 14 layers of paint on it when we got it. Yeah. And then our 62 Corvette, 55 Thunderbird, the Hudson Wasp with Steve McQueen's.
Oh, shit.
So that
How
was
do you
his
keep
car.
all of this knowledge?
It's just in my
She has
brain.
more knowledge.
I'm gonna let her talk. I don't know
He's
any
the
of
guy who
this.
never shuts up. And
I don't know any of this now.
Yeah, that was the car he purchased so he could drive around unnoticed because no one would picture him out from Wasp.
that's cool.
Low key.
Yeah.
56 Chevy Bel Air.
Okay.
Convertible.
Yep, on the road design.
Yeah.
We have a 51 Ford Country Squire. So that's the last year Ford's going to use Ford structurally.
Woody.
The Woody wagon, yeah. And then after that, it's all decorative wood. And this car is structural, fully construction.
That's it.
Yeah, Hobbs, we did. We saw it earlier. Like an hour and a half ago. You can catch the bod.
Wow, look at the.
Yeah, the Kaiser Darren came out.
Yeah, those doors are
Sliders.
That's game changer right there.
Darren's wife had her door taken off and dropped. So he put pocket doors in
He's
his
like,
car.
no, never again, baby.
Never again.
That's love right there.
They built.
Now you just get killed when you step out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's considered the first fiberglass body car in America.
This is fiberglass. Wow, I didn't notice that.
This thing's tough.
Another roadster. With the windshield. I
This
believe
is
it's
just
32,
It
right?
is a 32 Ford.
So it's got the phantom front window, which is a different option front window.
This is just clean right here.
That's the Don Spencer.
Oh, this is the world's oldest
32.
Hot Rod 32, right? Lot
Yeah, it's
32.
considered like the most beautiful 32 Ford in existence.
This one's
$1
gorgeous.
million.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
I'm
into these
sure.
cars, but this one's really
Did this
just
win?
nice.
Did this
and
say
sleek.
Amber winner?
I don't think we ever put it up. I don't think it ever
Ford Deluxe,
We have a whole bunch of them. Orange Swiss here.
the blacked out grill and everything.
What's amber?
America's most beautiful roadster.
Hey, the T-Buggy, you guys, they're killing on me right here.
You get stunned on. Hey, you need to put a front lip like You need to put a front lip like that on yours, Brad.
He also needs a V16 apparently.
V16 T-Buggy.
Two vehicles together.
Yeah, two V8s welded together.
Look at the distributor cap on this thing.
Yo, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
Yo.
Homemade.
It was homemade. Yeah, they actually initially put the V16 in a boat, and then this is the follow-up in a car. And it's notorious for catching fire.
Brad, this is your car.
Perfect, it's for me.
What are they doing with the S's now? Is it
Oh, V12 LS. Yeah, they do a V12 LS. The dude's long that valve cover is.
How much power is that thing?
I don't know that. All the knowledge I have, it doesn't come with the
Probably like
engines.
240 horsepower.
Yeah, 250 horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah, this color, this forest green on this.
Oh, I love green cars.
This red is nice too. It's like a brown. Like
What
a
is
this? Sniper?
mahogany.
Sniper?
Chip Foose and Troy Treppinet. I think
Is it a
pronounced
Studebaker?
No, it's a 54 Plymouth Savoy chassis. It's got a Viper V10 in it.
It's like a chop top.
Custom body. I'm not sure. It might be a. I'm sure it's a. All I know is it's on a Plymouth Savoy chassis. I don't know the body. But yeah. Chop top.
Cobras.
65 Shelby Cobra. Signed by Carol Shelby on the dashboard.
We always break the drive.
Oh, check the dashboard, signed by Carol Shelby.
Look at that arrow.
This is called the Bosley Mark 1. It was invented by Richard Bosley.
There it is.
Maybe because he lost a race to his mom.
He lost the race to his mom.
Yeah, he drove a Jaguar. She drove an Oldsmobile.
And she smoked it.
She smoked it. And he built this car so that he would never lose another race.
To his mom.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at it, it's completely lopsided.
Oh, no way.
So he had no like designer engineering experience. He was a horticulturist. He studied plants.
Did he win his races though?
I don't know that he ever raced it.
Yeah, it is pretty lopsided.
And here's my favorite, the Hobby and an OG covered wagon.
That's George Barrett's custom.
Wow, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Flake City right here.
Sorry. Don't be mad at me.
You only have to reach back to use the shifter. That's what
No, it's just sometimes with the public tours, the guides get mad.
Dude, it's got a deck full of shit too.
So, yeah, this was a gag gift for John Wayne for his birthday in 1971 from Bob Hope. So, Big Bang, the Texas bullshit scraper. That pile of bullshit was supposedly real when John Wayne received it.
Go Bob Hope. That's a gangster move. Spending that much money on a practical joke.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
That's
yeah.
FU money right there.
Yeah,
That is dope.
Hey, am I gonna say what up to the bad daddy though? I just gotta be like, what up, Nads? Hey dog, it's a fucking rap, bro.
exactly. You should be doing this. Take over your tour.
Let's switch.
She's handling business. She's handling business.
Bro, keep this one to the curl. Dude, she's the greatest.
No, she's really good.
She's all there. Dude.
She's really good.
I gotta link up with you guys.
All right, man. See you later, dude.
So this is the Mickey Road Strip.
So there you go.
So this is
We're
the,
team
I
Mickey.
always work with
Here are your cars. Now you guys can tell me.
Oh, dude.
Because they're here.
Boss man's car.
Joke's on you. We don't know shit about him.
Nobody cares about these. I'm sitting right there. Look at this fine rod rod. You've already seen these plenty of times. This is
Right, yeah, you guys, you're not here for
Have
that.
you seen Gymkhana videos?
I've seen a few of them, yeah.
So this is the one from Gymkhana 5, which is the most popular Gymkhana of all of them. So if you saw the San Francisco video where he did like a big jump through the hills.
I mean, of all the ones for you to actually touch, that's probably the one.
Give me trouble. This is on the internet too.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
boss is gonna be like, "What the heck?"
I promise that's the only car we touch.
No, yeah, you guys are good. When the deputy director says, "Go take these guys on a private tour," you guys are.
Have you guys driven one of these?
No way.
Hert shot him. Hert almost got run over by a bunch
This
of them.
one's Gym 3.
I want to say that's Gym 3.
Yeah,
That was in
which is-
France.
This is like one of the most iconic livery changes in the racing world, kind of. But, racing liveries kind of always have the same kind of trend that we shit on that. So, yeah, so, but that's about all I know.
That was the first Gymkhana that he did for Ford.
Yep.
So the first two were Subarus, and then he switched to Ford. It was like a really big deal.
They make somewhere around 600 horsepower,
That's what someone was saying.
all-wheel drive. They're just fun
We
machines.
get some really big Hoonigan fans down here.
Oh,
Like
really?
they'll go and like see the garage in Long Beach, and then like come directly here and see the cars.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, you'll always see them wearing gear and stuff.
Sick.
So yeah, they know what they're here.
We love that.
Oh, yeah, let's keep them moving.
Oh, yeah.
I know you guys are.
My boss. We've seen those enough.
So our 1913 Rolls Royce Silver Ghost still runs and drives.
Wow.
That's probably our most reliable early car.
29, 3,000.
That's
Oh, we're good.
Phantom Town Cars from 27. That was Fred Astaire's. Yeah.
Is that a Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
Silver, what did you say? Silver.
Silver Ghost, and then
What was the movie?
Phantom.
Any Which Way But Right, when the monkey was driving it and the people were in the back and they went across the floor.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Fred Astaire have like pretty heavily modified that for his it's got like silver.
So crazy.
She said it still runs.
And then yeah, our
Here's the
1913 is our most reliable car.
This
from
is
that time period.
from the time period.
Running and driving. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's the original 1913.
You guys ever take them out on the raids and stuff?
Take them out, sorry?
Like just take them and drive them, or
They
it's all-
do, to keep them running and driving, they'll do like 6-mile laps on the third floor of the parking garage.
Ah.
Stuff does get taken out on the road occasionally.
But
I know
safe.
we've done a few private tours where they've paid to be like picked up in one of our cars.
That's cool.
Which is like hella money. And
Right.
then, you know, they'll take them out to shows and stuff. And that'll do and all kinds of things.
These colors give me HKS feels.
Right?
Same.
This is the OG powered sports livery sort of vibe, huh? Or a challenge car. It's got racing.
We got a very first Ferrari ever. So that's the only thing that I messed with.
I know I'm coming around.
One of two ever built. Started Ferrari's racing
What's the model number?
One more time.
125S.
125S? 47?
47, yep.
1947?
Door only opens on one side.
Yeah, that's the first car he came out with under his own name. Not the first car he ever built. And then, yeah, that's the car he started his racing pedigree and lost his first race and then went on to dominate after that.
Yeah.
Still has the V12 in it.
Sick.
Fiat 8V, bodied by Ghia. It's a V8, but all their V8s are called 8Vs because they thought Ford had licensed the term V8 and they weren't allowed to use it. So it's an 8V instead. But yeah, it's bodied by Ghia, so pretty beautiful coachwork. 52 Ferrari Barchetta, one of a kind, supposedly a gift from Enzo Ferrari to Henry Ford II in 1952. Completely
Kind of
original.
like a FU, man.
Yeah, a little
Cool
bit.
cars.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
The
this is
story
supposed
there-
to be design inspiration for the 55 Ford Thunderbird.
And didn't he give it to them with the hopes that Ford would buy Ferrari, and then when Ford didn't buy Ferrari, that's when they started racing each other, and that's when Ford brought the Ford GT40 to Le Mans.
Oh, well, we'll get to that because
They
we
got
have
all- yeah, there's a
we have all the
whole-
versions.
I think
of
it was like
them.
a
She said
crazy
pump your
lineup.
brakes.
I
She
know.
said
I'm getting all
pump your
excited.
Yeah,
brakes.
yeah,
I'm
well,
getting all excited.
this is
The
when they're
merch.
still friends.
Yeah,
And
right,
then the
okay.
GT40 comes around the friendship ends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, completely original paint, 13,000 original miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool car.
That's sick.
And then, you know, Ferrari of the 70s, Ferrari
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
80s, yeah, whatever.
Mondial, the Malaise era.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the Ferrari Sergio. So this is one of 6
I don't
built.
think I've ever seen this.
It's a concept car they came out with as a tribute to Sergio Pininfarina, who passed away. So from 2015, they only built 6 of them.
Where's the Tom Selleck Ferrari?
That's around the corner. We'll get to
All
that.
right. Tom Selleck Ferrari.
All right, and then Motorsports.
Isn't that the ad car?
Bonneville Salt Flat car.
Oh yeah, no, that's the one that we had. That's yeah.
Wait, he came out and
Yeah.
showed up in that thing.
We'll
I wonder why it's here.
It was here for the
Up
the
and cut over
Japanese, the
if you guys
JDM
are
exhibit.
interested.
That and the bulletproof. That bulletproof car went sub 1 minute at Scuba.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I actually don't know anything about that car.
Yeah,
So.
it was a car built here, and then it was on display at Tokyo Auto Salon.
And then they
Full
did
Barris wide body, built motor.
sub-minute scuba. I want to drive.
Yeah, sub minute
Same.
Scubas. You got to do.
When we get into the middle section over there, that's where I lost signal
And that's,
yesterday.
that's
but
Enrique-
just we'll be fine.
Shout out
That's
to
on
Enrique
Porsche, so
Munoz.
who
Hey, look,
Yeah.
Enrique Munoz.
You
That's
guys
our
are-
boy. Enrique. He was on Build Biology. No, that was the twin Turbo built that car. Yeah, super.
It's got sick ducting under
Yeah,
there. It's so
really,
sick.
really sick.
Brad, how does this car have more space than your T-Buck? Like, it looks like it's more spacious.
It is more spacious than my
Is this the Porsche Indy car?
From 88?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is Porsche Indy car. I remember, I was really crazy.
Untouched. That's the
Yeah.
condition it came off the jersey.
Wow.
Not 1 T-bucket over there. 2 T-buckets. 3 T-buckets. Oh, who's your daddy? 3 more T-buckets, baby.
Who invited Brad?
Let's just skip all this slow stuff and go right over here to the T-bucket.
Toyota IMSA GTP
Let
car.
him go over there.
This is Dan Gurney's All-American Eagle. Yep, so GTP car. Oh, I love this.
You guys, I mean, you went upstairs, right? The site.
Fangio the third drove this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we went through all the tours.
Yeah.
You've been through. All right.
Yeah, we've been here a couple times, but I don't know all the knowledge. I'm down to hear all
I'm
over.
still learning. You know.
Is this Forces?
Yep. 2012, 2013. He won his 16th NHRA championship.
This is still with Ford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. He lost his Ford and Castrol sponsorship after this. Yeah.
He said 60.
16 NHRA. Yeah, he's the most winningest driver. 148 wins total. 16 NHRA championships.
Raw.
Yeah, aliens and amber winner. You got Candy Root Beer back there. That's
Yeah, look at how daddy up T-Bucket.
That's Outlaw's like the very first custom.
To win Amber.
The first amber winner ever is Red of the Road, but Roth is the first guy to ever build a one-of-a-kind custom. So Outlaw's like the first.
Not really based
Never based on it, yeah, just kind of custom parts.
Inspired by models.
Yeah, Candy Root Beer won in the 70s. I don't know the exact year. But like some of the amber winners, you can't really tell the decade. This one, you're like, yeah, totally 70s.
This is an amber winner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is Alien from 67.
This thing looks like an alien for sure.
That
Looks
one always
like
makes me think of the little Toy Story RC race car.
Yeah. It also looks like a Doom buggy. In some
It
ways.
does.
bit,
It looks
yeah,
like
it's
a
different,
Manx,
yeah.
a Myers Manx.
And then
How
the
do you
turbo.
get in this?
The top comes open.
Oh, really?
The top is like
Carefully.
this. Yeah. The top lifts up.
You don't.
Yeah, right.
That was Mr.
Someone broke
Peterson's
Yes,
personal hot
I
rod.
remember that car. Yes,
Yeah.
I worked for Mr. Petersen.
Did you
I worked down
really?
the street here. We used to come to the Christmas party here, and he would give everyone a pencil. It's the weirdest thing.
What?
You know you're balling when you put a hot rod plate.
I
on
know.
the
Well, because he's the guy who invented Hot Rod Magazine.
He started Hot Rod Magazine.
Oh,
Hot Rod
I didn't know that.
And then he started this. That's why the museum is named Robert and Margie Petersen. So he was the publisher of
This
Hot Rod
is his
and Margie.
collection. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She gifted it.
Oh.
Like, outright.
Yeah, they
Wow.
passed. Yep, and it was gifted. Yep.
It's that BDE.
Yeah, right. This car looks backwards.
You're missing
Right.
all the amber winners over there. If you guys want to move up the row and come down, it's up to you. We can do whatever you want.
Those
but
things?
yeah, that whole row up there is all
Yeah,
amber
we'll just
winners.
loop it.
We can loop around.
This car looks backwards.
This is
Look
it does look a bit. Yeah, this is Triton. It's a little El Camino, a little Cadillac Royale.
Yeah.
Whoa, glass
Roof. Yep. And they put a second windshield as the roof, so you have a 270 view.
It's crazy.
Two lights all the way up.
Look at the headlight.
Something must have been there, right?
Look at the headlight. Just one giant headlight.
Oh, wow.
Like an LED bar.
Yeah, right?
Somehow I think the golf cart was misappropriately parked.
That place looks humid. It is not humid. It's very nice down here.
And then you have little John Gutierrez on T
Model T?
because he.
Is that 4 Model Ts? 5? Oh my goodness.
And then you guys aren't really Porsche people, huh?
No.
Well, this is a Singer.
That's a
custom.
Singer car, yeah.
This is Rob Dickinson's everyday driver, brown bomber.
And Rob
69.
Dickinson is the founder of Singer, right? So
Yep.
Singer sewing machine?
no, Singer Porsche, like $500,000 Porsches. This is my favorite car down here.
Singer
of all
sewing
time.
machines are nice.
This is the
962?
The 962 that won the Spa 1,000 kilometers. So this is a huge, huge.
We're probably going into a dead zone chat. Just be mindful.
For a lot of years. It's neat to see it happen. This is on loan, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the Porsches are on loan to us. Yeah.
I can't say who it belongs to, but I believe it belongs to someone that I know.
We only have 2 in the collection. They're both upstairs.
The builder, the constructor on this is Brunn. It's a very famous, like, German builder. They were. This is close to possibly being one of the works 962s, because the 956s were the works cars, and the 962s were the customer cars. And this is like one of the ones that's known, like, straight from Porsche, that said this is like the most works 962. But it never won Le Mans. That's what's so weird about it.
But it was a big winner for them.
It won its spot.
23 top 10
Yeah, it won
finishes.
its everything but the top of Le Mans. It won like
Wow.
Spa. It won like everything. 6 hours of Spa, 1,000 kilometers, everything. But it didn't win Le Mans.
Wow.
But and also Jägermeister livery. That's like the coolest thing.
Racing's
ever.
heartbreaking.
So, I know, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
For this section, if we could just do this section fast.
Oh, is
just
this the one
because,
where we
yeah,
went
this is
out?
the area where we.
Okay, we kind
Risky
of.
business.
Is that the one? Is that the one? Dude, that's the one.
It's 1 of 4 for filming. It's the one that Tom Cruise learned how to drive stick shift in.
What? And now he's like a Joe Pro racer.
Yeah, it did the most of the driving.
So risky business. This is the one where when it went in the water.
This is not the one that went in the water.
But, obviously,
But yeah. Actually, most of the cars get touched with white clips. So,
this is the round door rolls.
yeah,
I know this one.
this is what we're famous for.
Whoa.
It's a 1927 Rolls-Royce Phantom, or 1925 Rolls-Royce Phantom Town Car chassis, rebodied in 1934, restored in the early 2000s by the Petersens.
And they added the
It's a 25
5 with
chassis,
redone in
34
34.
rebodied, restored in the early.
Kurt, look at the
2000s.
windows. Look at the way the windows go up. That's so cool.
This is daddy.
Right?
If you can afford to drive this and roll this, you're daddy. You're the top of daddy.
It's had
Can
like-
you open the door by chance? I'm just
No.
curious.
It opens. It's a suicide door, so
I'm not touching it.
it opens this way. The back hits the back.
I'm
of the
leaning
seat.
from far.
It only opens about 45 degrees.
Oh, so the opening points
The
are there
hinges
and there,
are
so
here.
the back will come into the...
Yeah.
Ah.
So it's done in the French Art Deco style, which is very streamlined bodies. So they'll hide like door hinges, door handles. You don't get side view mirrors.
I'm gonna go total JDM. A cord rear window.
It's a
You know when they roll it down
That's
sideways?
your early turn signal. So you flick the switch on the dashboard, a little flag
Semaphore.
pops out and tells you which way you're
Like
turning.
Volkswagen, semaphore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
That
no
was
side
invented by a
mirrors.
woman. Fun fact.
Oh.
So was the windshield wiper,
No side
and technically the first car. In case you're wondering.
Yeah. Boom. There you
I'm
go.
sure there's some people that are not going to like that.
It's all right. We'll find
Hip hip.
But yeah, so the initial owner of the Phantom Town car was Anna Dodge. She's the widow that inherited the entire Dodge Brothers fortune. Then the second owner was the Raj of Nagpur. It was in India for a period of time. Third owner had it rebodied by a coach builder in Belgium by the name of Jonquier. He's moved to America during World War II, fell into disrepair for about 20 years, sat in a New Jersey junkyard. A man bought it, painted it gold, and towed it around America, claiming it was the King of England's solid gold Rolls Royce, and charged people $1 to take a picture in it. And then it was moved to Japan, and it was white, sat on the floor of a bank, and then the Petersens bought it. The front grille has been rigged back. On a traditional Rolls Royce, the grille should remain vertical, straight up and down. So Rolls Royce has disowned it, and we've taken it to 5 different concourses, and it has always been denied top prize for that.
because of that.
So
It's a bastard.
Yep, it's a
It's just
bastard.
like us.
Yep.
It's dope, though.
It's one
It is
bastard
dope.
that I know.
Yeah. And that's Bob and Margie
This thing
Petersen.
is sick.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the round door. Vehicle
It's a
storage.
lot of work to change the tire, too.
I'd like to change the tires.
Yeah, I didn't even
Matching
notice
luggage
that.
set that fits perfectly into the trunk.
This is
So it's like,
How big is the motor in this? You know?
it's a 7.1 liter straight 6, 110 horsepower.
Torquey.
Yeah.
Torque for like 300 RPM.
You're not
25
driving it,
RPM
you're
stops.
showing
Cruising,
it off.
yeah, exactly.
You don't even, there's no back window. You can't see you can't see out the back, and you can't see over the front of the hood when you're sitting in it. The seats are too low in the car. So you wouldn't want to drive it anyway.
Yeah. Wow, this
But
thing is
yeah,
cool.
that's one we're really well known for
That's
here.
such a sick car. That's a crazy machine.
I don't get to go to lunch with you guys. I gotta.
Oh, you got a bit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got a call from Wally. So
You good?
thank you, Twitch. Yeah, I'm good. So can I get out of here?
Yeah, for sure. You want to show them out?
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later back at the shop tomorrow.
Bye, Brad. Thanks for the hangs.
Thank you guys. I have money for you for that Xbox tomorrow.
All right.
We got a whole bunch of French cars on this side here.
Oh, this is my favorite Bugatti ever, the EV110. I'm getting ahead. Yeah.
I was pointing at
What's this one?
This is one of my favorites. So this is Type 57 from 1939, built as a one-of-a-kind gift for the Shah of Iran for his wedding. So this was the gift from the country of France. Every country gave him a gift. Britain supposedly gave him a tea set.
Is this from the Mullen collection?
Yeah. It's actually a complete ripoff. There's a Delahaye that was bodied 6 months prior to this car. They're completely identical.
Really?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a one of a kind, but there's 2 of them floating around. But one's a Bugatti, one's a Delahaye. And when the Shah of Iran was deposed in '79, someone picked it up for $275.
No way.
That's at least a couple million, if not more. I've heard 15 million. I've heard 30
Is that the Shaw's license plate?
Yeah.
Still? Nice.
It's a pretty cool car. It's actually the Type 57 that put Bugatti out of business.
The 57C?
Yeah, they never updated it. So we have 3. That's one. That one I wanted to include.
And then
we have one from 51. So
where was the blue one from the Mullen collection? It's got the rivets along the fenders.
I think he has that one. It used to be here.
Is it up in Camarillo?
Yeah, I think it is at his collection upstairs, up north.